Hey guys, Kev here from Real Fit and Real Fit Online. So today's video is the kit list. This is the kit that you should be looking to build within your own home gyms, especially during these uncertain times that we face at the moment where you're not sure whether you can actually make it to the gym or not, whether the gym will be open or not. This is our opportunity just to give you guys some ideas of what you can use in the short term so that you can save your pennies basically and try and get these bits of kit as you go along and build up your home gyms to be of a level where you can get the goals that you want to achieve through the year, guys. So I'm going to give you some bits of kit that we can obviously get some alternatives with, and then I'll give you the additional bits of kit that are kind of, if you can get them in the future, then they're nice to have, kind of basically. So we'll start off with something that I believe is massively beneficial for any home gym or any situation, and that's some sort of suspension training kit. Now, my go-to are the gymnastic rings. But you can also get the sort of TRX or jungle gym based suspension trainers as well. The massive benefit of getting the rings, if you've got somewhere you can hook them from, obviously is price point. They're about £30 to £40 for most standard gymnastics rings, which isn't a ridiculous amount of money considering that you can use them for practically any bodyweight exercise. And really obviously the benefit of having those there is if you're only going to be using your body weight, it gives you something to use for your pulling muscles, because obviously your upper back, your lats and your biceps will get pretty much underdeveloped whilst you're doing your burpees, your push-ups, your squats and all the other movements that are thrown into bodyweight exercises. The upper back doesn't get as much love, so getting yourself some suspension trainers is hugely important. Now obviously if you can't afford them at the moment, or you're saving up for it, and you obviously, as I say, you've got to save up the pennies to get the bit of kit that you want, a good cheap alternative but not massively perfect would be to get yourself a bed sheet and a door frame. Basically the idea here is that, as long as the sheet is nice and sturdy, it will allow you to get those pulling movements in from that position. Problem being, obviously, number one is that you want to make sure the door is nice and sturdy that you're using, and the bed sheet that you're using also can take the weight as well, because you don't want any you-boo frame moments to be happening whilst you're in your home. All you need to do, it's pretty simple. Get yourself a bed sheet, and in that bed sheet you can put some sort of solid implement. Doesn't have to be anything special. I'm just using a piece of plastic here. You hook it in there, and as long as it's not going to obviously break as well, put it into your door, shut the door, and then you can do some pulling movements, body weight based, from there without having to have the reach or anything else. But as I say, that's a very short-term fix. I would definitely suggest going online today, getting yourself some rings or a suspension trainer, and even a hook point. If you don't have a solid door or something you can hook them from, you can get these little anchor points that you can put these through, and you can drill them into the wall, and it'll be nice and secure for you guys. Okay, so that's suspension trainers. Obviously, moving on to more utilised kit. My favourite piece of kit is the kettlebell. Massively versatile, can do tons and tons of exercises for all the different goals in the world. Great bit of kit, but obviously, again, with kettlebells, as with everything, there becomes a certain price point, certainly as you go into the heavier loads. And the lighter loads, and you can get cheaper alternatives from most places from about 4 to 12 kilos, and they don't cost much money. But once you go up to the 20, 24, 28 kilo, then they start getting quite expensive, even the sort of just the standard cast iron ones. So, as a cheap alternative again, and as a short-term solution, you can utilise a rucksack, okay? So the good thing about rucksacks is you've got these handles, you've got the handles here, you've got handles here, and they allow for dynamic movements like clean and presses. You can do snatches, you can do, obviously, bent over rows with them, you can put them on your back, do push-ups, you can do squats and lunges, pretty much anything with that rucksack. The big limitations obviously with the rucksack is that you want to ensure that it is, again, a nice sturdy rucksack that you can put weight into and it's not just going to rip and fall apart. Obviously for safety reasons, we don't advise that you definitely use that all the time, but as a short-term solution, throwing some books, throwing some bit, just a bit of weight in there for some basic body weight and rowing movements, again, it just gives you that opportunity to get some extra stimulus other than just body weight. Okay guys, next up, we can talk about dumbbells. Dumbbells, like kettlebells and like anything else, fairly cheap to start with, but once you start getting to some serious weights, going up anything above probably 15 to 20 kilos, you're then going to be talking again about an expensive outlay for yourselves over the weeks and months. So, again, another good alternative is a water bottle. Now this is actually a good alternative for kettlebells or dumbbells. The handle at the top or the handle on the side, the one on the side will probably be better for distribution of weight. but the handle at the top ones work as well. And as you can see from there, I can do my rows, I can do my presses, okay? I can even do some cleans and presses and things like that, more dynamic movements. We can do squats. Pretty much anything you want to do can be done with just a simple household item like this. The thing you have to make sure really the safety aspects of it. The lid needs to make sure it's nice and sturdy and on, so that none of the liquid pours out. And obviously, as you're doing movements, don't try and crash it to the floor, dropping it, because obviously it's just plastic. If it splits, not only do you get water all over the floor or whatever liquid is inside that bowl, but also becomes a safety hazard and slip hazard. Okay, guys? So, water bottles, rucksacks, bed sheets, stuff that we will have around the house. Okay, you can be used for most movements, and as I say, it's a good short-term solution while you're saving the pennies to maybe get some kit in the future from there. The last thing you want to be thinking about is cardio equipment. Obviously, if you have a running machine, if you have a bike, if you have a rowing machine, then fantastic. You get that opportunity to utilize that through this time. If you don't, obviously you can get outdoors, go for runs, go for long walks, go for bike rides. That's obviously a solution from there. As the weather's getting a bit colder though, what we're going to be concentrating on a lot in Real Fit Online and Real Fit during the lockdown is on the spot cardio. So things like jumping jacks, burpees, which everyone loves of course, mountain climbers, high knees, tuck jumps. These are all movements that can be done at home, and as long as you understand your limitations with them, can be fairly safe and can get the heart rate going. Obviously a lot of isometric movements as well, like planks, side planks and bridges, things like that where you can hold an isometric again and get the heart rate going. They're a great bit of exercise from there, guys, so we'll be concentrating on those in Real Fit Online, but that is something you can think about while you're at home. Bits of equipment that you can't really get a substitute for, things like bands. I would highly recommend if you go online today and get yourself some resistance bands. Really want to go for the hooped type ones like this because they are the most versatile. These are the red bands, these are black bands. They're normally pretty standard in colour. The reds are normally the lightest in terms of intensity, and then they go up in size and thickness to obviously make it more intense from there. So you can get yourself a nice set of bands that you give yourself a whole new world of exercises you can perform. Med balls or slam balls, again, super good for power movements, slams, throws, some ab works you can do, or rotational work. Get yourself a med ball if you can. They're not too expensive, and you don't need to go too heavy with them. Some people believe they need to start going up to the higher weights, but pretty much for everyone, including myself, 5 to 10 kilos is more than enough for anyone to use most of the time for most of the exercises that you're going to do, because it's a power-based movement normally, so don't worry about going too heavy straight away. But if you want to get heavy ones, you can go as heavy as you want, with 40, 50 kilos, and then they'll be good for, you know, stone lifts and cleans and stuff like that as well. So get yourself a nice med ball if you can afford it. Obviously, the next thing I'm going to talk about is barbells. Barbells and plates. They can range in prices. Obviously, you can get these standard sort of barbells from here. They can cost as little as 50, 60 quid. You can get more expensive ones that go up into the hundreds, which are more based on the Olympic lifting, so they can sort of rotate better. Depends on what your goals are and how you train. And again, plates. You can get these sort of cast iron plates. They're much cheaper when you buy a set of these than they will be if you buy your Olympic style bumper plates. So work with your budget and work with what you guys can do from there. But they're again things you can't really find alternatives for. You just have to go out and buy them. Now, obviously, you can get them a bit cheaper if you go on marketplace sort of websites. So have a go on those. Problem is right now is within lockdown that becomes much more difficult to do, and obviously you can't guarantee the quality of second-hand equipment, but it is a way of finding some cheaper alternatives that you can use in your home gym in the future. Obviously guys, just try and build your home gym out the best you can. The last thing is obviously a bench, a sturdy bench that you can then do things like presses and things like that from, but they aren't that important really. You can do pretty much everything on the floor or standing up anyway. So, if you've got one, then great, but it's not a necessity. Okay, guys, so there is your kit list, making sure you're going through and getting the stuff that you need so you can get your workouts in here at Real Fit. During the lockdown, we will be doing Real Fit Online. Basically, the idea is to amalgamate what we're going to be doing on the online in the future and bringing it into actually our Real Fit sessions. So you have tutor-led sessions like you do actually in Real Fit. There will be a timetable for that. You can do that in the classes or pay as you go. If you want more details on this, go to info@realfitcentre.co.uk, email them there, and Joe will send you back all the details, get you registered up and get you ready to go if you want to join. Real Fit Online will be starting as well, and that is obviously amalgamating what we're doing here, live sessions, follow along classes with the coaches, and then basically programs courses, dietary advice, mental advice, everything that you can need to help you through this time and beyond. Real Fit Online will be there to help you guys out, and we are excited about that as an additional branch to what we're doing here, guys. It's important that we stay healthy. It's more important that we stay safe, guys. So find the kit that you can do. Keep fit, keep motivated, keep exercise. Use us as much as possible. We are here to help you as much as we can over these difficult times. Just be awesome. Go get that day, and I'll see you guys soon.